Hello and welcome to the Stateside Soccer Show, episode 300. We did it in record time, Logan, before MLS Cup. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, is Logan.
Jordan, we might be back. we
Yeah,
might be
The
back.
streets are saying the podcast is back. Thank to everybody that just their patience if you're sticking with us throughout these scheduling issues, but it worked out honestly because there were games yesterday, so we can talk up through yesterday wherever we left off, however many weeks ago that was. I think we had just finished Matchday 5 or 6.
I think it was
after
5.
the last one. So there was an international break in there somewhere, and where are we at currently? How many match days are there?
I'm in Orlando, man. Like I'm digging. No, match day 9 we just ended with.
Okay, yeah, so we missed 4 matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, World Cup is getting ready to kick off in less than 2 months. What was that? The MLS app started playing random video. Hold on.
Jordan, we're 49 days to be exact. That's crazy. We're under 50.
Yeah, under 50. We're getting there. It's what a build up that this is going to be, because we just had a not great international window, right? Recently here. I think we talked like the first game of that, right? And then the second game was the Tuesday after we recorded, I believe. And we're kind of feeling a little down, especially all the crap coming out now with the tickets, and now they're looking at, for some of these places where you can only get to by train, charging a literal arm and a leg to get a train ride. That I think the train rides are usually like $12 in Jersey for that trip, and they're upping it to like $150.
Yeah,
that's crazy. In MLS, we've had a couple more match days go by. We'll take a look at the standings of that. Montreal, another one bites the dust. A manager gone. So we'll maybe dive into that a little bit. But overall, how's everything feeling over there? Orlando helped their goal differential a little bit last night, right? They put 4.
Yeah.
4 in.
Some would say they're back too.
Gave it 1.
Yeah. It's crazy how quickly during the first 10 game, 8 or 9 games, depending on what team you root for, that you've played so far. In Jordan, I mean, we always talk about this, where it's fun in MLS because most of the league makes the MLS playoffs. So you try to get to that 9th seed, and Orlando has been atrocious over their stretch of games. Have 7 points, Jordan, and they're now two points back of 9th place Columbus. So your team's never really truly out of it unless you just, really bottle the season. And once the games start to get into like the 15 to 20 range, you're starting to see some of the teams, kind of drop back a little bit. Atlanta assumes that last place spot. But yeah, Jordan, I wouldn't say it feels great to be an Orlando City fan, but it feels a little bit better coming off the midweek win there.
Yeah, 4-1 last night against Charlotte, who's been hanging out on the top of the East. Like you said, like Luke Skywalker said in Rise of Skywalker, no one's ever truly gone, right? So you are in range as an Orlando fan to those last few playoff spots. Philly is just 2 points behind that. They actually had the 3 points in their hand, Logan. And did you see this? The goalkeeper on Toronto makes a hell of a header and gets in there. When I saw Harry L score in like the 89th minute. I was like, oh, that should probably do it. But you know what I didn't factor in is that this is the 2026 Union. And
the goalkeeper drilling a header.
Yes. What a header, though, too. I mean, like, you can't even be mad about that, honestly. It's like, oh, okay, good power to you there. Just a really good header. That so rarely works. I think I read that there's been 3 goalkeeper goals in MLS, Logan. 2 of them have happened in Toronto. So something about BMO Field, I guess.
I've been watching hockey a lot lately. Big hockey fan now. I think it'd be kind of fun to allow you to pull your goalkeeper in soccer. It'd be
like
interesting.
How they do, like the
pull them out of the goal,
sprints to the side, and like the striker runs on for them.
Right? Yeah, like just that should be allowed. Like you should be allowed to pull your goalkeeper. It'd be a lot more difficult to go the length of the pitch to score. So I mean, I think teams might do it. Like they might like, you know what, it's an advantage. And MLS is always looking for ways to grow. I'm all for pulling the goalkeeper. Or Jordan, you can pull your goalkeeper up into the attack. Like, I mean, you could always do that, but like you can pull him up whenever you want and then have a player replace him in goal. Like, so you could have the goalkeeper as an advantage. So it'd be funny, but anything like that would be hilarious. It'd be like, I don't know. I like these kind of, but you are right, Jordan. I don't think every team tries it, right? And I don't think it ever works. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it work.
I mean, I've done it in FIFA how many times?
I mean, dude, I'm having my joke. I always press, what is it, triangle to have the goalkeeper run all the way up the pitch. Yeah, I do that all the time.
How are the Bolts doing? Are they doing
Bolts
okay?
They evened out the series, headed back to Montreal, though. So not great. You don't want to give up home ice. But Jordan, I will say, comparatively speaking, I'd say the parity of NHL very similar to the parity of MLS. So it makes it more fun to watch because it really does feel like any team can take out another. So,
well, I got to give DC credit here as well. Yeah. They are your wooden spoon contender. They are moving on up. They are in 10th place with 9 points. Montreal was my pick, and they did fire their manager, but they sit 1 point above Philly still. And I guess I got a little, what's the word I'm looking for here? I got a little bit by the bug, I guess you would say, in my predictions, right? I said, Atlanta can't be that bad again. And boy, I put them 9th in my final predictions. They have time, but they are rock bottom of the East right now. Even after the bad starts that Orlando and Philly had. Philly recently is on a unbeaten streak after they win and draw. But Atlanta not doing so hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have talked about this ever since Joseph was there. I mean, this team has been in turmoil. They had brought in Garth Lagerwey, and that never really, I mean, has panned out. And the players that he had left over, I mean, it's really weird to me because, I mean, I'm trying to think of other sports teams, Jordan, that have, because what you'd say Atlanta probably has the best fan base considering like showing up to games. Not saying that you like them, but like as far as showing up to match games,
they do usually show up. I don't know if it's hard to. I guess it all depends on what we qualify as best. But if you're saying like they show up, they definitely show up,
supporting.
Right?
Yes.
And for a while, like they really had nothing going on with the Falcons. They had nothing really going on with the Hawks.
The Braves kind of took a dive.
Well, and even then, when the Braves are good, they've moved out of the city proper.
Yeah.
So people have kind of been a little upset about that, and it was really a moment for Atlanta where they were really gaining momentum, and they won MLS Cup. And back in 2018 against Portland, right? And then everything kind of fell off the wheels. Tata Martino says, peace out. The team starts flipping over, right? Some of those players get sold. They've tried bringing some of those back. They've tried bringing Tata back. And right now, like you said, Garth Lagerwey, unfortunately, he had health issues. He now had to step aside, or else maybe he could have built this team to fit his mold after a couple more windows. But
bring Tata back. They bring him back, and he's not done. I mean,
no, they haven't done anything. They lose to the Revs 2-1 on this last game here. It just seems like I thought it was a good idea to bring Tata back because he's a good manager. And look, it might work out at the end. But it almost feels like now that I'm sitting back looking at this and seeing how everything's going, it almost seems like one of those things you do when you're out of ideas and you're like, what do we do? Let's bring back him,
infusion
right?
Of success, from what you've had previously.
Right. You just keep bringing back parts of that team that worked, and it's not working now. And the reason is probably because you have to, it's not the same thing. And now they've been kind of largely irrelevant since that MLS Cup win, if you look back at this point. And it's like we run into this a lot, and part of this is because of the parity, Logan, but we talk about these really good fan bases that almost force a team to come in, right? Like Austin, right? Mm-hmm. People were like, give us a team. And Precourt said, all right, I'll relocate the crew, and that whole thing happened, and we had to give them an expansion team. And then they make a splash at first. They do good for a little bit, and then it's not even that ownership doesn't care. Arthur Blank spends money on this team, but for whatever reason, it's not working, and it seems like I don't want and look, if they come back and start winning, the fans will probably come back. But when you start having this issue of constantly failing at a certain point, it becomes an issue where the fans do start leaving, right? And not showing up as much. In MLS, that hurts a lot because they don't have TV deals. They have the Apple deal that gets spread across every team. But like baseball, you get, all the cable deals help the teams with their revenue. And then they really rely on the gate prices. So if fans stop showing up, then it'll become an issue for the team. But it's early, right? It's early. We're nine games in. We've seen MLS teams do crazy stuff before, but they are my disappointment of the season again, because last year they spent all this money and we're like, oh my God, they're going to be great. And then they failed. And then this year I'm like, well, they can't be as bad as what they just were. And I mean, they can. They're doing it. So I'm not really sure what the answer is there. I'm not somebody in the business, but I don't know how long this continues to go like this. I don't know what you can do.
I mean, just looking at the roster, it's not good. I mean, Latte you spent a lot of money bringing him over. He scored 1 goal so far in 9 matches.
And they brought back Almiron.
Right. Who also hasn't really had much of an impact. And you look at this team, Jordan, I mean, this is pretty much unrecognizable from teams past. And you look around the league and you got guys like Timo Werner making a team better, Thomas Mueller making teams better, Antoine Griezmann. I mean, even though Orlando City's not been great, they're taking big swipes on players that are proven successful in other leagues. I'm always shocked that Atlanta hasn't, because I feel like Atlanta's pretty comparable. It's like the LA of the East. Like it's a big city. It's an attractive city to young guys, I think. And so and even veteran guys that are looking to kind of settle down, like, I did feel like Atlanta would take bigger strides to, really enhance the league. And I'm looking at it, Jordan, the NYC teams, they don't do it for me. Like, they're not pushing the buttons.
It's the West Coast teams and
right.
Miami.
It's Miami.
Those are the ones
right?
that are pushing the LA teams, the Seattles, the Cascadias. Right?
Toronto tries every once in a while, and they have the money to do it, but like they
Miami,
don't. Yeah,
that really push the league forward every year. I have some interesting stats. I guess FOTMob has this as a thing now. I like this. Coach win percentage and points per game. Okay. So when Tata was there in 2017, he had a 44% win percentage, 1.6 points per match. In the year they won it all in 2018, it was a 62% win percentage with 2 points per game. Even Frank de Boer, who, when he was there, everybody was like, oh my God, this is a big step backwards. We got to let this guy go in 2019 and 2020. He had a 53% win percentage and a 40% win percentage. Since then, one person has gotten over 38%. Okay. We have Glass, who I guess was interim, 22% win percentage. Heinze, 15% win percentage, 1 point per game. Valentino, 1 point per game, 20% win percentage. Pineda, 63%. That's actually the highest of them all, with 2.1 points per game in 2021. But then in 2022 and 2023, it was 29%, 38%. 2024, it was 25%. He gets fired. Valentino takes over again, 33%. Ronnie Dyla, 15% with 0.8 points per game. This year, Tata Martino, 11%. That's only 9 games so far. 11% win percentage with 0.4 points per game. To me, that's not just the coaches, because obviously we had Tata again, right? But yes, something with the squad hit their peaks in 2018 and 2021, and it's just not been a good enough squad or a good enough gel. What's going on with this team since then? And in fact, last year and this year are the worst ever, with 15% and 11% so far. So who knows where it goes from here, but they've given up 16 goals, scored only 7, right? So
do you think some of it has to do with the people building these teams don't have soccer experience?
I don't know, because I would think, like, obviously, like, Garth Lagerwey had like the best experience that you can have,
right.
And he had a good stamp on the team, at least last year. So I mean, obviously, I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe we overestimated the price. And what I mean by that is, look, obviously Miguel Almiron, we know what he could do in MLS because he's done it. When you're talking about Latte Lath and how much you're spending on him, and the fact that he hasn't really reached the highs that much money should give you in MLS, that's probably the biggest issue, is that yes, they spent money, but they're spending it maybe on the wrong players or too much on one player, that they're not able to really spread that money out to the rest of the team because they're trying to make big splashes.
It just feels like there are teams, Austin being one of them.
Philly does it too. They've spent like incredible money on strikers like Damiani,
right.
who hasn't done anything at all. So, I mean, it's
like, and I know that you're never going to get the top, it's always going to be the European leagues. So MLS is kind of stuck with second, third tier players coming down off of their prime. But like, I do feel there is a huge gap now, even though there is parity in the league. I do still feel like there is, once it comes playoff time, there is a huge gap between some of these teams. And I don't think, the unlimited, I don't think allowing them to pay people whatever they want's the answer here. But I mean, Jordan, there's so many really, really bad teams in this league, and they're consistently bad in this league. So it's, I don't know. I know it's the same way across the Premier League. I know that maybe the talent pool is a little bit more shallow, so it's a little bit more difficult to build up the lower teams. But I mean, man, Austin is never going to get out of its way. Like they haven't won a game this year, so they've been awful. I I mean, you look at Montreal. I don't know what they're doing. I think they just think it's fun to just
Austin
exist.
has one win, I think.
Do they have a win?
From what I'm seeing.
I thought they saw on form.
I don't think we have any teams that haven't won now, but still, they have one win, 4 draws, 4 losses.
I must have looked at the wrong thing for the form guide, but I don't know. Like, it just feels like, I mean, DC United, at least they're playing better than they have in the past. But they're another team that you look at and you were like, man, are they ever going to be good again? It's tough. And I know that there's other sports like this, but it just feels like it feels like there's like an identification of talent problem in MLS that they've not quite shaken out yet.
So just to correct there, March 1st, they beat DC United 1-0. Okay. That was game 2, but then they lost to Charlotte 3-1, RSL 2-1, drew with LAFC, drew with Miami 2-2, lose to the Galaxy 2-1, lose in the Open Cup to Louisville City 2-1, draw with Toronto 3-3. I guess that's Toronto's favorite scoreline right now. And then got smashed by San Jose 5-1, who is top of the West now. Can I hear a hell yeah? Because I feel like I've been saying that Bruce Arena was going to turn that team around, and he has.
Yeah, we might be able to get Bruce on this show with how big of a fan Jordan is of Bruce Arena.
They've only given up 4 goals. Same thing with Vancouver and Nashville. I mean, that's crazy.
Which is wild to say about a San Jose team, because if you've been following along,
record breaking.
Jordan, they were the stratosphere of really bad defensive. Like, there weren't even close teams to what they do defensively. No. I mean, I remember the first year I was podcasting with you, and you're like, no, like they're almost to the point where it's like it's laughable how bad it is. And sure enough, I think they let up 74 goals or something.
That was the Almeida year, I believe.
Yeah, right? that was rough. But yeah, Jordan, I'm not going to lie to you, and I think you kind of feel the same way. When we have to take off those rose-colored glasses, I root for San Jose actively when I get the chance to watch some of their games, because I just want them to succeed. And Wando didn't get, I think, the success necessarily that he deserved with how great he was. And so this fan base has been through, and they've had really good players. I mean, Christian Espinoza was a really good player.
And not just that, but like, if we just want to like zoom out a little bit for this fan base, San Jose is not far from Oakland. They've lost so many teams in that area. You know, the Raiders left, the A's left,
Golden State's not really in that area anymore.
Moved from Oakland to more of the, I guess, San Francisco area. I don't know what that is in relation to San Jose, but like, you know, just seeing them, you know, for those fans, I guess they have the Sharks and they have the Quakes, and that's
Sharks are good.
All that they have right now. So
Sharks are good.
When, you know, it's just good. It's just good because I feel sorry for all, you know, that fan base in that area keeps getting their heart ripped out with their teams leaving. So hopefully, you know, they have a good season. You know, hiring Bruce Arena was a good call, and it took a full year last year, and then this year. Sometimes that's all you got to do is just give it a little bit of time, and they get to turn it over. You know, obviously they are top of the West, but they have played an extra game. Vancouver hasn't, and Vancouver has the same exact stats as them right now, just 3 points behind because of that extra game. So we could be talking about San Jose and Vancouver being tied at some point here because they both scored 22. They've both given up 4. They have that 18 goal differential. No draws. 8 wins, 1 loss for San Jose. 7 wins, 1 loss for Vancouver. On the other side, LAFC is kind of in a bit of a rut here. They beat Orlando back at the beginning of the month, probably the last time we did a podcast. They beat Orlando 6-0. Then he beat Cruz Azul in the Champions League. But they lose to Portland 2-1. They lose to San Jose 4-1 last week. And then yesterday, They drew with the Rapids 0-0. So LAFC kind of on a little bit of a skid here.
Yeah, I mean when you lock up all these competitions, I mean this becomes a common thread though. I think we always talk about of just teams not where the MLS is just not deep enough to build some of these teams that maybe Real Madrid does or Barcelona, City, PSG, Chelsea, like Liverpool, like they all build teams that, I mean, hell, some of their second teams are better than most of the league. So they can afford to sit their regulars and then field a second team that's beating mid-level teams. So it's just not something MLS is built for. And a playoff system, Jordan, that's a lot different. Teams, I think, approach this differently. I don't think teams are actively saying, hey, it's fun to lose. Let's lose. By resting or rotating, but it's a choice
that only happens in the NBA with my Wizards,
right? So. Yeah, I was gonna say especially when you've got a legendary draft class that's coming in, which doesn't work out like that in MLS because
the draft doesn't provide
doesn't really provide you much, so.
Like a big player like
not usually. Yeah,
no. Back in the day, all of these players used to get drafted.
Yeah.
Nowadays, most of the players don't come from drafts. They come from academies and signing, and just signing players, either free agents or
young South Americans.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that I've been following this league since before they had free agency, because like looking back at like, if you watch like the Ken Burns baseball documentary, right?
Yeah.
They have a whole like bit about like when free agency came in like the 70s and players that fought for it and all this kind of stuff. And just thinking that I've seen that happen in Major League Soccer is just pretty crazy.
Another thing that totally, not really off subject, but Jordan, you've seen history and you actually get to say you've seen it. San Jose has won 8 of 9 games, which is the first team to ever do that. Its first 8 of 9 games. It's the first team to ever do that post 2000 with the new shootout rules and stuff.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. So you were pre-shootout. Like you were that weird, whatever they used to do.
Yeah, I didn't pay as much attention back.
But you were there.
You
were there.
I was there. Yes.
I don't know many 7-year-olds that are aware, but I don't know how old you were then. In 2000, what you were?
I was 9.
9, yeah. So yeah, like I mean, let's be honest.
I started mostly watching in 08.
Okay, so here's my first thought. Or I guess you answered it just then. But like, do you remember what your first? Like, do you remember your first MLS memory?
This is crazy. My first MLS memory, I'm pretty sure, okay? I mean, I would have to verify with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we went to any DC United games when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I think my first MLS memory...
was a Union game, huh?
No, is MLS Cup 2007. The Revs beat the Dynamo at RFK Stadium.
Weird.
It was back when they did the
that's weird
neutral site. So we went. Jimmy Eat World was the halftime show.
What? Wait. So this was MLS Cup, you said, or US
MLS Cup 2007.
MLS Cup. So you've been to it, Jordan.
Yes,
there's not many
MLS
people
Cup.
that can say that they've been to a league's championship game.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Great? And it was probably, I think, the first MLS game I've ever been to.
That's crazy.
That's even crazier. Unless if look, we have ticket stubs and all that kind of stuff. I've never seen a ticket stub for me earlier than that, because we used to go to the Blast games, like Baltimore Blast. That was indoor.
Yeah, indoor soccer. Yeah.
I remember that. But my first MLS memory is watching the Revs blow another cup in a row as they lose to Houston, who won their second in a row. And then that was 07. So then 2008, I was rooting for DC kind of on and off. And I remember watching the playoffs. They lost to the Crew.
Yeah.
So I hated the Crew. And then 2009, Seattle joined the league, and I started watching them because of the Xbox 360 things, and I love
That's why we
green
used to
and
play
blue.
with them. Yep.
Green and blue are my favorite colors.
Together, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I agree.
My
with
mom
you.
used to say that would never match. I would wear a green
Everybody
shirt and blue
says that. Yes.
And I say, now I could say Seattle has that. So I do match.
That's funny that you say that. That's what everybody says.
And then 2010, obviously the Philadelphia Union were joining, and I said, let's start from here, because I went to so after 2007, so this would be just a few months later.
Yeah.
I went 2008 MLS draft. They held it in Baltimore at the convention center. I went to the super draft with my dad, and we went to another one in like 2012, I think. But 2010, we go to the super draft, and the Sons of Ben were there chanting, trying to get a team in Philly. So that was kind of one of the things that was really that just makes me think, Logan, there was a guy, I don't know if it was that year or the next time I went to the draft. There was a guy in the front row. We were near the front too, right? And he had every team's jersey. Okay?
Oh no.
And when it was their turn to pick, he would
That's pretty funny. I actually really like that. That's really funny. Especially then, because you're not really picking from a whole ton of them. Like, what, there were
probably
around 20,
yeah. Maybe.
So he's the dude, he's still,
and he's just
he's now it's a big backpack that he's going to the draft with.
Yeah, it kind of felt like the Rob Lowe NFL meme where he's got the NFL hat.
Yep.
This guy just changing into every team's jersey.
Yep.
Yeah. But so Sons of Ben were there, so that kind of turned me on to Philly. And then we would go up. We were driving up there sometime. My dad was like, hey, look, they're going to be building a soccer stadium over there for the new team. And I was like, that's cool. And then we started going there. I kind of pledged my allegiance in 2010 when they were entering the league. So, so I've been around for a while now. Some of these players are probably born after when I started watching.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Sullivan, right? He's got to be
2010,
right? 2011, something like that. Yeah, so that makes me feel old. That's
good. But yeah, so that whole long-winded to say, like, San Jose, like I am invested, Jordan. I think that Timo Werner has 6 goal contributions, and they haven't had somebody like that since Wando. So it's really, Christian Espinosa I'd put up there, but like Timo, you and I talked about this, and you got to watch him play with Chelsea, and we didn't really know how it was going to work out. We know he's very talented. Had a great career with Red Bull. Doesn't really feel like he really fit with Chelsea when he had that opportunity. But I feel like, the kid is ultra talented. And relatively on the younger side of stars that we get. So it's really cool to see him thriving. And, it's players like that, Jordan, that are going to expand, I think, some of the talent pool and the talent levels coming over when you got players like him willing to commit to a league like this and play this well.
Yeah, no, that is true. When you have that was one of those, I feel like that when that was probably only a couple episodes ago on the podcast because it's been taking us so long to do that. But when you have somebody like Timo Werner, it's not like the big name like Griezmann, right? But it really feels like it's the level that was probably really good for Timo to come to. Like you said, he did great in the Bundesliga.
Oh, he's great.
Something hit when he went to the EPL that he couldn't adjust.
It chews up a lot of people, the EPL does.
Yeah. And what's weird is sometimes that happens sometimes that happens just like even moving in the league. Like I remember Fernando Torres when he moved from Liverpool to Chelsea, right? He struggled at Chelsea to score goals when he was automatic at Liverpool. It's just sometimes that kind of thing happens. But, coming here where the defense is not as good, it just felt like a easy, like he's going to score or contribute. It's a no-brainer signing. You're probably getting him cheaper than you would a player like Messi and Griezmann and, some of these other players. But he's going to bring value on the pitch, and that's kind of all you can really, really hope for.
Yeah. And I will say, I think out of all the sports I watch, football feels more like you have to get in the right system, because I just feel like there are, like you said, I mean, when Fernando Torres leaves, I think a really good instance to bring up, because you go to different systems and it just doesn't work. Like we've seen that many times. Like Insigne should have been good, but he just did not fit that Toronto system.
Right.
Like that just did not work.
At Liverpool, Torres was the guy. He comes to Chelsea and it's like, there's Drogba. right. So then you have to really change everything. Yeah. All right. You want to lock in 20 teams for 2008? Because I have the total right here.
Yeah.
You're locking in 20?
Yeah.
14.
Oh my gosh.
Teams in 2008. So that guy at the draft, it was reasonable. It was reasonable to have, especially back then, jerseys weren't as expensive as they are now. So, I mean, he could reasonably have all of those teams.
Yeah.
And to our point, the San Jose Earthquakes, even back then, bottom of the league.
So. They've been bad. Like, this is like when... This is almost, I mean, I guess a comparative would be like, I mean, the Cubs. I'm a Cubs fan. Like, the Cubs were bad for a very long time. It's like one of those historic clubs, staple to the league, foundational to the league, but just didn't win.
So we've more than doubled the teams in less than 20 years. It's pretty good.
Should have 50 by the time we're about
in 2046.
Yeah. Should be about 50.
We'll see. Okay. Let's see what other teams I'm looking at here that may be a little bit of a shock. Chicago started off hot.
They've kind of fallen back down.
Yeah, they're in fourth still in the East, but the Revs are the surprise team up in third right now in the East. Inter Miami, of course, are right there behind Nashville. Nashville has a game in hand, so they can do that. They also have only given up 4 goals, while Miami's given up 14. Crazy.
Yeah. Nashville, Jordan, the only team to ever to win at Estadio Azteca.
Yes, in the Champions Cup. Yeah.
They've been really impressive, Nashville has.
Yes, okay. This is what I see, Logan, is we all kind of think Pochettino is out at the end of the World Cup. I see people clamoring for BJ to get the full title, not the interim that he had before. He's got Nashville running. What do you think?
So he had the U.S. leftover team playing well.
Playing well.
They were bought in. He seems to be what has started the correction of. I mean, I do think U.S. men's national team is in a lot better spot than we were a couple months ago. We were really treading water at points a couple months ago. I feel better now. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more competitive because I think that Pochettino has got the guys playing pretty feisty. But I do agree with you. I think it would be interesting to see what would happen because I don't know if BJ would leave. That's the thing. Do you want to deal with the U.S. men's national team? I mean, that's a big burden, I think some would think. But
yeah, I mean, I would probably. I mean, look, if that's their dream, they're going to take it. But if you're like, I just got this job and I'm doing well, like, do I want to leave that right now for what would be a gamble, right? Of a gamble. Yes, you did well as the interim, but
it's different
most,
country too, right? Like
yeah,
you don't pick your players.
right,
Like
and
you get what you have.
you last maybe a cycle,
Yeah,
right? That's kind of what we've
true.
talked about. So you could take it that way though too, and be like, okay, I go there for 4 years, and then I can maybe move to another club.
Yeah.
The way that Berhalter is now at Chicago, right? So I guess that's possible, but that's all stuff that I guess we'll find out after the World Cup. Hey, you know what I got right here? I have a Coke Zero.
Does it have the World Cup stuff on it?
Yes, it comes with the Panini sticker. So I'm going to see who I got. Let's see what we got.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I can talk about another U.S. men's Jordan. Sebastian Berhalter. He should play. Who'd you get? Did you get a good one?
I got Anthony Robinson, baby.
That's solid. That's actually really
a U.S. guy while we're talking about it.
Arguably the best U.S. men's national team player.
Yeah.
Question mark.
That's pretty sick. They only have 12 of these, so I guess I'm kind of shocked he would be one of the 12, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, seriously, I consider him top tier.
Yeah, but I was thinking they would all be like, I don't know,
Pulisic.
Yeah, I thought they'd be like the biggest names, but I did have a Mexican player as well that was not like I forget who it was, but it wasn't like the big guns. So I mean, there you go. That's pretty cool. Little bit of a almost like opening the pack on live on TV.
That was magic.
Live on the stream. Yeah.
A U.S. men's national team, so that could have been any country, right? It wasn't just U.S.
One of the 12 people they have, I guess. I haven't looked up who they have as a list, but like I said last time I go,
it couldn't be like it couldn't have been like an Argentine player.
It could have been, I guess. I mean, like on the thing here, the ad, they have like they have Lamine Yamal on one of these.
Yeah, he's definitely not. I mean, if he wants to be U.S. native, if we can draw and trace him back to the U.S., that would be like magic.
So I mean, like they have at least like a Spain option if he's the one that they're like advertising for it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know what that means? We're gonna win the World Cup.
And Jedi's gonna hit the game winner.
Isn't he injured or is he coming back?
Jedi, he should be back.
I hope.
What's his name? He's blown his Achilles.
Yeah, Ajama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not good.
I don't know if Jedi has a update.
Yeah, see if you can find that. So yeah, Marco Donadel for Montreal got relieved of his duties this April. So Montreal has it's funny to see the coach win percentage here because the interim has only had one game. The replacement has only had one game, so it's 100% win percentage because they just won.
Mm-hmm.
So you go from a 14% win percentage to 100%. So that's pretty cool. Man, who do we think Wilfred Nancy comes back for any of these jobs over here? Does he?
I think he's gearing up for U.S. men's national team. No, yeah, like I think so. I still don't.
Or is he just trying to find another job over there? Still?
No, I think the MLS calls him back. I would love for Orlando City to call him.
Yeah.
Montreal.
That'd be a weird homecoming, wouldn't it? It's like I just left. Yeah, but
yeah, it'd be weird. But I mean, I know he didn't have success, but in MLS, he's one of the best. So it's like, how could you pass on that? It's like Bruce. Bruce is out there and he's willing to coach. How do you go? Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, for him, if he's going to be like, yeah, I'll go back there. If he's like,
yeah,
because he left near the top for the Crew, and then we kind of joked when we were not recording during the off season, but he pretty much left at the end of the season, got the job at Celtic, right? And then or Celtic, and then got fired before the MLS season even started, where we were like, could he potentially go back to the crew? But they just hired somebody, so obviously that wasn't going to happen. But could you imagine? That would be really like the best way that could ever happen. Is if the crew had waited just a little bit longer, and Wilfried Nancy is like, I had my European adventure. I tried, but I'm coming back.
It failed, and I want to come back home.
Yes.
Yeah. But Jordan, after looking it up, Jedi does appear he's going to be okay. He is dealing with the ankle issue, and there were thoughts he was going to miss it. But a couple weeks ago, an article was released that he feels not 100%, but he does. He said that if the World Cup was now, he'd play.
Okay.
So,
okay.
That's good news. That's good news.
Okay. Anything else that we need to talk about with this? I think we probably touched on a lot. Toronto really surged up to the mid-table. They were, earlier in the season, kind of down there. Cincinnati started off good. They're now down past below the playoff spots as well. Kind of a real topsy-turvy East right now, where Cincy, Orlando, and Philly, who are usually good, are near the bottom.
Yeah, and I would say Mr. Consistent, meaning Mr. Consistent for both of these teams. NYCFC and Red Bull just hanging out in the 6 and 7 spots. Just chilling like they normally do. I'm sure they'll be up to 4 and 5 between 6 and 7, 4, 6, 7.
Yeah, they may stay in that 6 to 9 range all season long.
Sounds right.
Like they usually do. So where did we predict them? You put NYCFC 8 and 9.
Where'd you put them?
I put them 10 and 11. We have them right next to each other all the time. So
screwballs. Gosh.
There you go. So one of us has them missing the playoffs. One of them has them just getting in. So we'll see how that goes for them if that stays. But
Jordan, do you think Miami are, if playoffs started, would Miami be a heavy favorite anymore?
I mean, I think they would be, just because of the talent that they have and that they have Messi. But I mean, if you're looking at the Eastern Conference, I mean, just the fact that Nashville's only given up 4 goals when it seems like so many teams. All right, this is the thing. And I meant to bring this up earlier, but we talked about it last time or 2 times ago when a lot of teams had scored like 4 to 5 goals a game. Yeah. Like the scores were insane. This week, Cincy gave up 4, NYCFC gave up 4, Charlotte gave up 4, Red Bulls gave up 4, DC gave up 4, right? San Jose scored 5 on Austin. That's like so many teams right there that gave up 4 goals. That's how much Nashville give up the whole season.
Yeah.
So I feel like pretty good that they would be able to lock them down. And then when you look at the West, you see the teams that also have only given up 4, and that being, San Jose and Vancouver. Again, when you've only given up 4, and you have Seattle who's only given up 3. Now they have 2 games in hand, so that could change. But when you have teams only giving up 3 or 4, and you have like a team like Miami who's given up 14,
yeah,
it makes me think like maybe they could lock them down, right? Like,
it takes
4
one
is
game.
The best in the East.
Yeah,
8 is second best, and that's Chicago.
Yeah, I mean 4 is like, I mean Nashville's always had a good defense, like a great defense. Yeah. They've had the defensive player of the year before, like quite a bit. And I mean, Jordan, they just seem to always do this. And now the biggest difference with them, which is something you and I have said for years since covering the league, if Nashville ever finds out how to score a lot, they could really plant teams. And now they are up in the upper tier of goals scored. I think NYCFC and Miami, the only ones that have scored more.
Yeah, they scored 17. Miami scored 18. NYCFC scored 19. Cincy scored 17.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So that's pretty good in the East. In the West, of course, 22 is the most with the 2 West.
The road racers.
Yeah. But in Colorado even has 21. So yeah, I mean they've struggled in the past, like you said, where if they've given up 4, they would have probably scored 6 in those 8 games, and you'd be like, oh, okay, are they they're not giving up a lot, but they're also not scoring a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of been their MO, but they've been doing a lot better.
One last one. Vancouver. Brian White, eight games, 6 goals. Thomas Mueller, 6 games started, 8 games played, 4 goals. Sebastian Berhalter, 3 goals, 7 games started, 8 games played. Jordan, are they legit contenders for an MLS Cup this year? Do you feel like if you had to pick a team out of the West, because San Jose, obviously we've talked about, but like they've been there now. Do you feel like they might be the ones that people are kind of hunting?
I'll say Vancouver is definitely a heavy, I wouldn't say favorite, but an option, right? They're a legit contender if that's what you ask, because they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're better. They have a full season of Mueller,
Brian White's healthy.
Right. I think they're a better team this year. So this is exactly how it started last year, though. They started off hot. They were constantly in first and second for the West, and I think that's how it's probably going to go throughout the season here. It's just that the Challenger is different. The Challenger also has a San in the name, right? San Diego last year was constantly battling them for it for a bit. And now they're down in like 10th, and San Jose is the one in first. So, but yeah, I think Vancouver can do it.
It's exciting. 2 Americans with Thomas.
Save Vancouver, right? I mean, people are talking about them potentially moving.
Yeah.
So just giving our support here to the Save Vancouver Whitecaps movement, because no team should ever move from their city, especially a historic team like the Whitecaps, who have been around for so long. And as part of that Cascadia trifecta that we definitely don't want to lose. So just wanted to voice that.
I would say if we have to lose them, they need to play in Northern California.
I would say if any team should be removed, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Northern California would be what? San Francisco?
Yeah, but they have San Jose there. So they're right across the thing.
That's true. Then I guess moving to Montana, Idaho. Boise wants a team.
My God, I drove through Montana and Idaho. There's nowhere to put it.
Whoa! Hey, the freaking audience that listens from Montana and Idaho just turned the podcast off.
I can actually look at the stats and be like, wait, do we have anybody?
It's a heavy contingency in Idaho. We're big in Idaho.
I drove through it. It's beautiful. It's just like they don't even have enough restroom stops for me.
That can be the West with restrooms. You might bring toilet paper.
It'll say like the next rest stop is 3 hours away. I'm like, I guess I gotta stop at this one then, and then.
Oh, that gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. We've hit a lot.
Well, that was a big one. That was episode 300. If you want to listen to us talk non-soccer stuff, we have a couple other podcasts around. I know Logan, you had me on back in January to talk some Superman, and I actually just released that on my Soups and Sabres feed as well, because Saturday was Superman Day. So I thought, what better day to post it than this day? So, Logan had never seen a Superman movie. I showed him the new James Gunn one. We talked about that for an hour, 49 minutes. You can catch that on Soups and Sabres or the Screen Society pod. I'm doing Daredevil coverage over there right now. And then, of course, Mandalorian and Grogu comes out next month as well. So I'll be talking about that over there. Yeah. Cool. So you can follow us on all of our ventures there. But thank you all for watching or listening along. And we'll catch you next time. Whenever that is.